Hey, Uncle Roddus back again with another video. Okay, bunch of vinyl come today. I've had 2 deliveries in the last couple of weeks. So in New Zealand, the end of March is the end of the financial year for people who are in business, and there was a sale at Flying Out. Flying Out, of course, you're familiar with Flying Out. I've mentioned many times I buy a lot of my New Zealand stuff through them from out of Auckland, so I get it sent down here. They had a 50% off certain items, which is very impressive, and then a 20% off, and then 10% off the rest of their stock. So unfortunately, I looked through all the 50% off stuff. It was only on selected things, and there wasn't a lot that interested me, and most of it I'd never heard of. I had no idea what it was, but there was a couple of New Zealand ones but I already had. So I checked the 20%ers, and there were some more interesting stuff there, but again, no New Zealand stuff that interests me. No New Zealand stuff at all, apart from might have been a couple that I already had. So I hit my want list. I have a want list there on their website, so I hit that and got 10% off a bunch of my want listers from them. Some releases that had come out late last year, early this year, that I hadn't managed to get around to getting my hands on. And first up will be this one here, Dimmer. This was released late last year, I think, pretty sure, and I was aware of it. Dimmer is one of Shane Carter's bands from, well, they formed in the late 90s. He put a fantastic single out. Dimmer put a fantastic single out called Crystallator, I think it's called. It is a flippin' awesome song. This was then their first album from 2001, I believe. And it's quite different from what was on that first single. This is actually quite laid back, quiet, sort of electronic. Yeah, sort of. There is some guitaring in it, but yeah, it's quite a surprise. I am slowly warming to it. I was a bit, I wasn't quite what I was expecting. I don't know, Dimmer, a well-known band, New Zealand. I really kind of missed them. Back in those days, I was like following a lot of different sort of music. Another one that had come out just recently, and I hadn't bought it mainly because I just didn't have the funds available. But this is another off Coco Muse. This is Coco Muse, as you may remember, I've mentioned several times, and I have bought all of their records. This is number 6, their 6th release, and it is Francesca Griffin, The Spaces Between. She is a well-established musician in New Zealand and was in a Flying Nun band back in the 80s called Look Blue Go Purple, under a different name, and I just can't think what her real name is now. But anyway, yeah, this has been highly rated on the Vinyl Lovers website, New Zealand Vinyl Lovers website, by a few friends. I'm taking a little bit longer to warm to it. Yeah, I don't know. I've had about 3 listens, and last night I think was probably the best. So I think it is starting to grow on me, but it's taking a bit to absorb that one. And then the last of the, well, I ordered 4 records that day, and one of them they couldn't find it. They said they couldn't find it in stock, so they gave me a refund. But the other one I ordered was this one, LAB, and this is their second. I showed their first one, I think came out early last year, was it? I think, which was really great, sort of funky reggae, funky sort of dubby kind of record. This is well, they have progressed a wee bit. There's some pretty good rock guitar in this. This is pretty commercial, but it's pretty funky, pretty bit of dubby reggae, funky. I actually heard a song played off this record on one of the big commercial stations here. I don't listen to them myself, but I heard it on a job site and was quite surprised. So it's kind of cool. Great cover, really cool cover. It's a double album. Well, it's not a long album. I think they just put it on 2 LPs to kind of help with the quality of it. It's very well recorded. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it's very commercial, but it's very good. I like it. So because I got that refund, and I thought, well, I might buy another record. And then I thought, I went on their site and they had that, and I went through the 20% discount ones. And I found a couple, and I've been humming and hawing for these for ages since they were reissued early last year. They have been fairly pricey. I mean, $55 to $60 in the shops. And I nearly bought them last year, and I had them in my hand, and then I put them back, and I found some. I got some New Zealand stuff. Anyway, so Wire 154. There it was, 3rd LP. So I finally picked up a copy. This is the reissue from last year on Pink Flag. First time, I actually thought I had this on CD, but I don't. I actually have the other first 2 albums on CD. But so I got this for 20% off. So I actually picked it up for under $40, which is actually a really good price, a much better price than $50 to $60. So I got that one, and I got Cheers Missing as well, which of course now means I need to find a copy of Pink Flag. Record store day is only 2 days away, or 3 days away. It is Wednesday of the week 4, and Penny Lane will be having their, hopefully, I mean, they don't tell you until the day because they keep it pretty quiet and that, but 50% off sale, hopefully again. So there will be some sort of sale going on. So I've got some funds put aside for that. Maybe I'll pick up Pink Flag there. Who knows? But yeah, this is a great record. This one I do have on CD. I wasn't as familiar with this record as I thought I was. Of course, I knew I Am the Fly. Actually, from side 2, from I Am the Fly onwards, is just absolutely awesome. The rest of the stuff before that is not quite what I was expecting in places, and I think it'll take a wee bit of... Yeah, I've got the CD, but I haven't played it very much at all. Today... Oh, okay, so what happened was... I got... Those releases pushed me right up to the maximum of credit of points they have on flying out. And for every $1,000 you spend, you get $150 of credit, which is bloody good. I mean, that is, 1,000 points. So you get a point for every dollar you spend. So for you spend $1,000 on vinyl or records or whatever, CDs from the shop, and you get $150 discount. And I used that $150 to pick up a whole bunch of stuff that had been floating around on my want list again. So I went for some of the cheaper ones that were on their site this time. They weren't on the sale because they were, you can't use your discount on sale items, but these were pretty cheap and they'd been on my want list for quite a while. So I cleared them out. So I picked up 5 records for $150 and I didn't have to pay a cent. So the Abel Tasmans, a cup of tea and a lie down. Now this is a reissue, but it's actually this is a Flying Nun record, but it's a reissue of a Flying Nun record on Flying Nun from 2014. Now this is their full, the cup of tea and a lie down I think was from 1986, and then I think there's an EP, an EP they did, and then a bunch of bonus tracks. So generally, I think this is pretty much everything they recorded. There's an inner sleeve here on this one. This must be the cover of the EP originally. That is classic Flying Nun artwork. That is absolutely classic Flying Nun artwork. Especially that, I like that side. That's pretty cool. So this is the EP, A Tired Sun. So I'm sure this is sort of pretty much all they put out. This is a band that I never really... I might be familiar with some of the stuff, but I never really got into them back in the day. We're one of that kind of I missed the radar on that one. But, this is classic Flying Nun music from the mid-80s. I mean, the artwork is just classic Flying Nun. And this is an expanded issue and looking pretty good. And along the same lines as another one, and I mean, you can still pick that stuff up originally if you really want to. This one here is the same sort of thing, the Bird Nest Roys. Again, a Flying Nun reissue of a Flying Nun record from the 1980s. 86 and 85 and 85 and 86 are the dates for this. Again, this is an album that they put out. Now this set is called Me Want, Me Get, Me Need, Me Have, Me Love. I'm not actually sure what the original record was called. There's a nice little blurb there. There's again some more pretty classic. There we go. So that's the original cover of the one of the records that they had, and I remember seeing that in the shop back in the day. Whack It All Down, it's called. And then, that must have been the LP. And there must be some other stuff, I'm not sure. I only just got these in today. So again, classic. Let's hold that up. Classic Flying Nun artwork there from the early or mid 80s. Now the other three I picked up today as part of that deal are just some. I don't know a lot about them. They were just on my because of the New Zealand vinyl issues. I kind of picked them up. This is Purple Pilgrims. I mean, I'd heard of them. I mean, and this is the sort of stuff that Chris has played on his shows over the years. So I'll probably heard them on that. It's probably not the easiest cover to see on the picture here, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's two girls, two women in the band, and I really can't say too much about it. I haven't had a chance to listen to them. I got home from work today. I had a really fairly stressful day and very physical day at work. So it was great to have some records sitting on the doorstep. Signer, The New Face of Smiling, from 2004? Really? Wow, it's quite old. Recorded in Wellington and New Plymouth between 2002 and 2004. Okay, so again, I can't say too much about this. Again, I'd heard of them off Chris's podcast. Electronic indie sort of something or other. It seems to be the description. And last one, again, I'm not sure on this one, but this is pretty highly rated, I believe. SJD, St. John Divine. This is actually the last record I put out under this. I should know more about who this guy is and what he does, but I don't. From 2015, I believe, when I was looking on Discogs before. I have cleaned all these records tonight. I'm not sure, but I read on that this is quite highly regarded record, so it'd be interesting to see what that comes out. There's not a lot. It must be a self-release job. There's no. Oh, there is some numbers on the spine. There seems to be no record label, and there's certainly nothing much on there, so it must be a self-release job. So and finally, now someone had posted on Facebook a new record that had just come out, and I had no idea about it, but it is New Zealand, and it is what's playing in the background, the 40 Watt Banana. and the record is called Peeled. Now, I'd never heard of these guys. I knew nothing about them. Didn't know they even had existed. From 1968, they were formed, something like that. Yeah, 1968. There's a bit of a blurb there. I haven't read all through that there yet. This is what's playing in the background. It is really good. They actually, back in, was it 71? They released a single, the second track, which we heard playing behind us before, Nirvana. That was released as a single. I'm not sure which track was the B-side now, but that was the only thing they ever released, and that probably sunk and disappeared without a trace. And they've just pretty much flown under the radar ever since. And I don't think none of the New Zealand guys, or hardly any of the New Zealand guys on Facebook knew anything about it. And they've compiled a bunch of these recordings that they did, which are never released. They're really good quality. Yeah, most impressive. And that's me. Yeah, the 45 came out in 1971. Yep. So that's the lot this time, and I've got some more coming. The one that they couldn't find on stock, the one that they couldn't find in stock turned up a couple of days later. So they have said they'll give it to me at the discount that I was originally going to buy it from. So I thought I can't say no to that. So I picked it up for under $40. That will be here soon. I've got another three records coming, plus Record Store Day coming up. So that'll be my next video. All right, see you later.